When I was 15, I was at my gym doing leg extensions, and I noticed out the corner of my eye this guy is coming up to me. He notices that I'm so close to failure. So he's like, come on bro, push, one more. He's helping me get the weight up. I finish the set, I thank him, and when I look at him, I notice he's a bit older than me. Like he felt like an older brother. He was 19, early 20s. And I only saw him like 1 or 2 times after that, and then he disappeared. That was my first sense of brotherhood. I already had friends, the friend group I would play video games with and stuff, but something just felt so different about this interaction I had. If we fast forward a year later though, I learned about dopamine detoxing, quitting video games, quitting scrolling, and so I make the hard decision to cut out video games. This was the only way I connected with my old friends. I knew this would cause a growth, but I also knew I would become extremely alone. And honestly, it was really lonely. I remember going to school and I would talk with people, but it's like no one shared values with me, so it just felt like I was the only person living like this. But there was one ray of hope for me. I remember seeing all these YouTubers talking about like attracting friends. They would basically say, if you build yourself into the kind of person who can actually attract the friends that like share values guys like us have, that is when you can actually have like a good social life. And so bro, I just held on. I wanted to feel that sense of brotherhood that I felt when I was like 15 years old. And eventually I met some of my best friends. I met them in school. They were into working out, dopamine detoxing, finding their purpose, all of this stuff. But it's very obvious that right now there is a loneliness crisis. Way back then, we were like a tribe, right? We had to like hunt together to survive. We ate together. We did all that stuff together. Like brotherhood was mandatory. If you did not have like friends back then, you would have died. Like you literally could not survive. But nowadays, so many people live without brotherhood. And can you honestly even call that living? Like, don't get me wrong, it is really awesome to be doing all the good habits and cutting off all the bad habits, but it just feels like you're missing something, and really you're just missing connection. When I was younger, honestly, my day just looked like go to school, go to the gym, and then I would come home and honestly, I would watch porn a lot. And I was addicted to the dopamine, but one thing was like, I was so addicted to like the temporary escape of feeling alone. I didn't like hate my old friend group. It's just like I had to cut them off because it didn't feel like our values like aligned with each other. So if we imagine way back then with the story of when I was on leg extensions, that dude, it probably felt so normal for him to just go up to some random guy and socialize, right? Like, let's be honest, he probably went to the gym 1 or 2 times, like I said, and then he completely forgot about me. But that story stuck with me for so damn long. So here are the first 2 things you need to do. The first one is you need to constantly keep building yourself up. Imagine in some dream reality where that dude actually kept going to the gym, and I remember I would talk with him like those 2 times he kept going. We could have been like amazing friends, right? He could have been like a big brother to me, right? But he didn't go. So eventually I kept building myself up. And like I said, I met my friends in school. People say it's kind of like luck meeting guys like us just out at like school or whatever. And honestly, there is kind of a luck aspect. But at the same time, you got to think about it. If I was never into the gym, I would have never met that dude on the leg extension story, right? If I was never into like dopamine detoxing and health and all this stuff, I would have never met my 2 best friends in school. So it is like a requirement. You need to be constantly improving. Self-improvement isn't supposed to just build you into this like lonely, like lone wolf, you get what I mean? No, it is like your tribe is supposed to be a whole chapter of like self-improvement. I want to tell you a story though about a dog we have. So we bought this new dog and he's like a puppy and he hates being alone, bro. He always has to sleep with someone. If he can't sleep next to one of the other dogs or he can't sleep with one of us, bro, he'll sleep with like his toy. Like he is just so social. And when you really think about it, we're very social like that. We need to treat connection like it's just another pillar of like something we need to level up. Just like your physique, you also need to level up like how connected you feel. The second thing I really wish I did was online connection. So I unfortunately discovered this very late. I already met my best friends in school, But I remember I just always heard this stigma about like online friends, how online friends aren't real friends, you know, it's not face to face, so it's not really like connection. But oddly enough, it felt so connecting. I remember I joined this like self-improvement community, and I remember I made this post talking about health. I was talking about like, I don't know, like dieting and plastics and all that. And I swear to you, bro, I had like 40 guys like in the little comments thing, like telling me what they did. They were giving advice. They all shared values with me. The thing was, like, I didn't meet these guys in person. I just like joined a community where other people had the same values as me. All of these guys were into like working out, dopamine detoxing, all of this stuff. And bro, honestly, I wish I could have gone back to when I had like my lonely chapter and I cut off my OnlyFriends. I wish I could have gave younger Carson this, bro, because it just felt so lonely. I felt like I was the only person on earth like dopamine detoxing, working out, doing all that stuff. But there's just so much on the internet, honestly. It's a very revolutionary, you know, technological innovation if you really think about it. Like, you can easily, like at the click of a few buttons, go on the internet and connect with someone who like is like us. That is just insane. I wish I knew this. And so here recently, I've actually been like opening up free calls with people from my audience. I'm just trying to increase that like sense of connection and brotherhood with people that share values like us. So if you like related to my stories and you want to like book a free call with me, go check out top link in the description. But I'll see you in the next one, bro. Peace.